parents complain about it. That's why he signed the bill. This is a parents' first bill. I mean, this is what it's about, right? And he's standing up to Disney, right, to woke corporations like Walt, the Disney company, which was opposed to him signing it. They went full on, opposed him, claimed that he was being bigoted, that they would maybe pull out of their business out of Florida. Their parks are some of Florida's largest tourist attractions, right? So he stood up to them. He signed it anyway. He's a man of the people. He's not, a corporate crony like a lot of these other governors. Maybe not all of them, but there's many even Republicans refuse to do anything that would upset corporate America, right? I mean, like look at Coca-Cola. They can go to some state and complain about it, and suddenly we're just going to let all these liberals do whatever the hell they want in our legislation. Fortunately, DeSantis is not like that. He's standing up. And now I think even yesterday he said that they are looking at the laws that allow Disney to govern its own property. Disney is given special compensation. They are allowed to do basically whatever they want in the cities or towns that they run in Florida. And now Florida's looking at it and it's like, well, maybe they shouldn't have those rights. This is those privileges. They're not rights.
Yeah, but why only Disney have that privilege?
Right.
Why?
That's a good question. Because they're rich, right? They have a lot of money, and back in the day, decades ago, they just gave tons and tons of money to the to Florida politicians, and DeSantis, he's had enough of it. He doesn't want them to have any sort of undue influence over the legislation that the people voted him in for. He is a populist. He only does what the people want him to do, and right now, parents are telling him, parents all over the country really are saying, stop brainwashing our kids, right? Stop indoctrinating our kids with your woke gender ideology. We just want them to go to school. We want them to learn math. We want them to learn English and science and history without any of this gender nonsense. I mean, I'm sure anybody listening to this who's over the age of, say, 25 knows that, when we went to school, we didn't have to learn about all this stuff. I mean, if you wanted to learn about the birds and the bees, they taught us that when we were like maybe 14, right, or 13. They taught us about safe sex, right? That was about it. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, it's all this woke stuff. It's about, people, these preschool teachers coming out to their 5-year-olds and telling them what they do in the bedroom with their boyfriend. It's like no one wants to hear this stuff, let alone kids.
It's like during the COVID, they tell us how to have mm-hmm. sex too. but that's true. The government actually they did as well a manual like how to kiss your boyfriend, but whatever. Yeah. But for coming back with Disney, they know that Disney have a really massive influence on children. I remember when I was mm-hmm. young, like looking at Disney for me was, I don't know, I learned so much to look at Disney just because you're a little girl as I am, like looking at princess. I wanted to find my prince, but it's just like a fantasy that like children have. And I think it's just important to grow up on this. But now I have the impression that they try to mess up a little bit to include everybody in this and make their like, as you say, like 50% of the character now they want to have like LGBTQ. Yeah.
That is what's implied, right? I mean, you have one of the executives at Disney. I think she's the president of their properties, of Disney properties, meaning that she's in charge of the characters. She's in charge of, Star Wars, Marvel, every single Disney property, whether it's Mulan or Pocahontas, she owns all this, she runs this. And she very proudly on a Zoom call a few days ago, Christopher Rufo, he has been doing like amazing work on social media, right? On Twitter, he has been uncovering all this woke stuff. He had this Zoom call from her, right? I mean, he recorded it, and it showed her talking to members of Disney's staff, telling them that she is a proud mother of both a trans child and a pansexual child. And she feels that Disney doesn't have enough characters who are LGBTQ plus or whatever. And she wants to make it so that by the end of the year, 50% of the characters will be LGBTQ plus. Now, later on, the company came out with a statement using something called Beyond Imagination or something, or Beyond Reimagining. I can't remember the exact name. It's their basically diversity, equity, and inclusion movement in the company itself, saying that they want 50% of the characters in their shows, in their properties, to be at least a member of an underrepresented minority, whether this means they're people of color, whether they're Black or Asian or something else, or if it just means that they're LGBTQ plus. I mean, it's anybody's guess, but judging from what the president wants, she wants all of them to be LGBTQ plus.
My only concern in that, I found that really too pushy. Like, yes, you can have like some cartoon with like LGBTQ like face,
sure,
but to include like 50% of them, that's it's taking like half of the place. I don't think that represents the reality of the society. It just needs to have a balance, and the children at a certain age, when they are young, they are not able, like they search who they are, and I don't know, like the society right now is so open that you don't need to hide anymore who you are. It's a free country. You're free to be who you are. I don't think the need
maybe that's a problem.
Like, yeah, but I don't know.
I think people are too free. I think people are too, kids are being misled. They're being misguided. They're being groomed into thinking that they're things that they're not, right? I mean, it's parents are not doing the jobs that they're expected to. They expect teachers to do the teaching, to do, raising their kids, because, now you have parents who don't even raise their own kids, right? They work 9 to 5 jobs. Both mom and dad are outside working. And so their kids are just at school being taught by who knows who, God knows what, right? I mean, these kids are being brainwashed. They're in the hands of teachers that, 50 years ago, even 20 years ago, you trust these teachers. You would trust them not to lead these kids astray. And nowadays, it's like these teachers are using the kids as their own personal, like their canvas to project themselves onto, right? To have the childhoods that they never had, to live out some fantasy that they have in their sick minds. And I don't think enough parents are paying attention to this. I mean, now we see parents speaking up. We see parents trying to run for positions on school boards. And I think that's very good. I think more parents need to be talking about this, but it's, in some ways it feels like it's a bit too little too late, especially with how woke these schools and the colleges have gotten. I mean, colleges have been this way for ages. Parents can be amazing. They can be conservatives. They can be, libertarian. And then, they send their kids to college. And these are just normal kids, teenagers. They come out and they have blue hair and they're, using they, them pronouns or something. And it's disheartening. I wish parents would take a closer look at their kids' lives and actually do their jobs as parents and not depend on other people to do it for them.
Oh, hey guys, thanks for watching. That's a clip from our Rebel News daily live stream where we talk about the news of the day in an unscripted and interactive way. It's co-hosted at noon Eastern or 10 Mountain Standard Time by me on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And on Wednesdays and Fridays, we've got rotating co-hosting happening from some of our other on-air talent. So good news, there's something for everybody. We broadcast on YouTube. But if you want the full uncensored version, you're going to have to find us on Rumble, Super U, and Odyssey. And be sure to sign up for our rebelnews.com emails so that you never miss us when we go live.